Correct.
Got it. And so, if we could just like go back to one issue, like more in terms of a recap, I wanted to make sure that I don't miss any of, the, let's put it like from a vendor perspective, your perspective in terms of where the opportunity is. And I think we talked quite a bit about right, and PA, and we understand sort of the concept around it because it's very specialized. It's even large health plans we heard for certain things like, high-tech radiology, like oncology, and a lot of aspects they look for outsourcing. Now, we talked a bit about, the boots on the ground, but I wanted to, and we talked about palliative end of life care. Now, I wanted to kind of just make sure that those are, first of all, the only ones that you think that there is a very high propensity for outsourcing in, for these plans. And then, just finally kind of, if we may go into a little bit of the boots on the ground, like one of the things that we heard is there are lots of vendors in this space. And I think
yes.
The perception is, and that when we talk with health plans, everybody talks about, yes, it makes sense to actually bring people in. So I'm trying to understand is like, yeah, it makes sense to bring people in, but like, is that an area where health plans are going to invest more in the future? Are they willing to spend the money in there? Do they feel that there is a return on investment? Why isn't the industry moving faster in that direction?
So as you become larger and larger, like the 5 largest ones in the country, you have all these resources. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to do it as much. I mean, take the largest one in the country. I mean, they've got medical directors in almost all the specialties. So it's pretty easy. And then they built a sister company that has all the resources. So they're not going to do that kind of outsourcing as much.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, we know who that is. That's not.
Right. And you're talking specifically about the in this area, right? Like in terms of building those the capability in specialty areas and so on.
Correct.
Right.
But look what's happened in the industry within this past year. So the other area I told you which is a concern, which I'm certainly not an expert on as much as some others, but is specialty pharmacy. Mm-hmm. And specialty pharmacy. Why do you think some of the larger managed care companies and the PBMs are getting together? It makes perfect sense.
Right. Got it. No, that's another interesting area, really. And like interesting, you talked about the specialty, but how about the boots on the ground? I mean, even for the large providers, and so I'm trying to make the distinction of why a regional player would actually hire a vendor for boots on the ground versus, a national player. And so I'm wondering if everyone is building, because, we also heard a little bit around, the large players and the health plans, they find that care management is in their core, and they do well the analytics, and they do well all of the telephonic communications. But when it comes to face-to-face, that's where there is a huge gap. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
And is that consistent? Is that across the board, independent on the size of the player?
No, I think the larger organizations are the ones that really don't do well. I think the smaller you are, the more tailored it is to community. So I do think they tend to do better with that.
Okay, got it. So you think
Go ahead. I was going to tell you my experience in Hawaii is the best example I can give you. There's absolutely no way. I mean, that's such a niche area with all kinds of issues going on there that there's no way a national player could come in and do that well.